A Shocking Life Review, A Selfish Man's Haunting Awakening. James Wainwright, the epitome of selfishness, lived a life dictated by wealth, disdain for others, and an unwavering focus on his personal gains. His opulent lifestyle shielded him from the consequences of his actions until one fateful night, when the threads of his existence began to unravel in the most terrifying way. On a stormy night, James found himself stranded in an abandoned mansion he had deserted years ago. The rain danced a chaotic ballet on the roof, beckoning him toward the mansion's imposing doors. Seeking refuge from the tempest, James reluctantly stepped inside, only to be greeted by an eerie silence that permeated the once grand halls. As he explored the mansion in search of shelter, he stumbled upon a room bathed in a dim, ghostly light. An ancient lamp flickered to life, casting an unsettling glow on the worn-out furniture and faded wallpaper. The room seemed frozen in time, and James felt a chill creep up his spine. The flickering lamp became a portal to James's past, projecting memories and shadows onto the walls. The room transformed into a spectral theater, showcasing the chapters of his life, characterized by callous indifference and ruthless decision-making. It was a visceral display of the hearts he had callously broken, and the pain he had inflicted on those who dared to care for him. Yet this was just the beginning. The room metamorphosed into an immersive experience, enveloping James in a haunting spectacle of his own making. Each corner echoed with the whispers of the past, laying bare the consequences of his selfish pursuits. The torment he had sown in his wake materialized in front of him, a manifestation of the wounds he had callously inflicted on others. As the night wore on, James found himself ensnared in a soul-rending journey through the labyrinth of his own misdeeds. The shadows of his past, like relentless specters, forced him to confront the true nature of his existence. His callous treatment of loved ones, the shattered relationships, and the collateral damage of his insatiable pursuit of wealth and power, all unfolded in a relentless barrage of images. The room became a crucible of emotions, each flicker of the lamp revealing the depth of James's own darkness. He witnessed the pain he had caused, the opportunities for kindness he had squandered, and the irrevocable damage wrought by his selfish choices. Dawn broke, but the room held its spectral grip. James emerged from the mansion forever changed. The weight of his past bore down on him, a burden impossible to shake. The echoes of his shocking life review reverberated in his mind, demanding introspection and redemption. Haunted by the revelations, James faced a choice. Would he succumb to the darkness that had defined him, or would he embrace the chance for redemption? The abandoned mansion, with its shadows and memories, stood as a crucible of transformation, a place where the echoes of a selfish life lingered, waiting for a man to awaken from the nightmare of his own creation. Echoes of redemption. James, the once unyielding man consumed by the shadows of his past, emerged from the haunted mansion with a newfound awareness. The echoes of his shocking life review lingered, compelling him to confront the wreckage of his existence and embark on a journey toward redemption. Determined to break free from the chains of his own making, James delved into the ruins of his relationships. He sought out those he had wronged, offering heartfelt apologies and attempting to mend the shattered bonds that defined his turbulent past. Each encounter was a painful revelation, a mirror reflecting the consequences of his actions as he traversed the landscapes of remorse. James encountered faces he had long forgotten, the sister he had abandoned, the friend betrayed, and the lover scorned. All became living testaments to the wounds he had inflicted in each heartfelt apology. James felt the weight of his past actions, a burden only redemption would alleviate. The journey was arduous, fraught with resistance from those who had once been casualties of James's self-centered pursuits. However, as he persisted, a glimmer of forgiveness and understanding began to emerge. Slowly, James started to rebuild the bridges he had burned, brick by brick, in the hopes of reconstructing a life torn asunder by his own hands. Simultaneously, James turned his attention to philanthropy, redirecting his wealth toward initiatives aimed at uplifting those he had previously exploited. He became a beacon of change in the very communities he had once exploited for personal gain. The haunted mansion, once a symbol of his callousness, transformed into a haven for the underprivileged, a living testament to his commitment to leave a positive legacy. Yet, the echoes of redemption were not without their challenges. The shadows of James's past, embodied by spectral remnants within the mansion, resisted his transformation. The struggle against his own demons intensified, testing the sincerity of his newfound purpose. The mansion, once a malevolent force, now stood as a battleground between darkness and the flickering light of redemption. As James navigated this tumultuous path, he discovered an unexpected ally in a spectral manifestation, the embodiment of the goodness he had suppressed throughout his life. This ethereal guide encouraged him to confront the deepest recesses of his soul, urging him to unearth the buried virtues buried beneath the layers of selfishness. The climax of James's redemption journey approached, and the mansion's walls seemed to pulse with a supernatural energy. The echoes of his shocking life review intertwined with the echoes of his ongoing transformation, creating a symphony of redemption that reverberated through time and space. In the final, transformative confrontation within the haunted mansion, James faced his own reflection, a spectral manifestation of the selfish man he used to be. The battle between light and darkness reached its zenith, with the mansion standing as a silent witness to the internal struggle that would determine James's ultimate fate. As the echoes of redemption reverberated through the mansion's corridors, James's journey towards a renewed existence hung in the balance. Would he succumb to the haunting shadows, or would he emerge from the crucible of redemption reborn, a testament to the transformative power of self-awareness and the possibility of change? Even in the darkest of souls, resonance of redemption. James, relentless in his pursuit of redemption, stood at the precipice of transformation within the haunted mansion. The echoes of his shocking life review intertwined with the whispers of redemption, creating an ethereal symphony that reverberated through the mansion's haunted corridors. As he confronted the spectral manifestation of his former self, a crescendo of emotions engulfed James. The mansion's walls seemed to breathe, with the weight of his journey a testament to the resilience of the human spirit and the possibility of redemption even for those shrouded in the deepest shadows. The battle between light and darkness unfolded in a surreal dance, echoing the internal struggle that had defined James's quest for redemption. The mansion's ghosts, once haunting reminders of his past, bore witness to his transformation, their ethereal presence acknowledging the sincerity of his efforts. In a moment of epiphany, James faced the spectral embodiment of his former self with unwavering resolve. The confrontation transcended the physical realm, delving into the metaphysical depths of his soul. In a moment of epiphany, James faced the spectral embodiment of his former self with unwavering resolve. The confrontation transcended the physical realm, delving into the metaphysical depths of his soul. The echoes of his shocking life review collided with the resonance of redemption, creating a seismic shift that transcended the boundaries of time and space. The mansion itself seemed to respond to James's inner turmoil, its walls pulsating with a cosmic energy, a kaleidoscope of memories both agonizing and redemptive enveloped him. The shadows that had clung to him for so long began to dissipate, replaced by a radiance emanating from the depths of his reawakened conscience. As the climactic struggle reached its zenith, James's former self began to dissipate, vanishing into the echoes of redemption. The mansion, once a realm of haunting memories, transformed into a sanctuary of ethereal beauty. The storm that had raged outside subsided, leaving behind a tranquil dawn, a symbolic rebirth. In the aftermath of the spectral battle, James emerged from the mansion's threshold, bathed in a soft, golden light. The echoes of his shocking life review had been replaced by the serenity of redemption. The mansion, once a symbol of his darkest self, stood as a monument to the transformative power of self-awareness and the capacity for change. James, now free from the shackles of his former self, ventured into the world with a renewed purpose. The haunted mansion, stripped of its malevolence, echoed with the footsteps of a man who had navigated the labyrinth of his own soul and emerged on the other side. The tale of James's shocking life review had reached its conclusion, a story of redemption that transcended the boundaries of mortality. The mansion, now bathed in an otherworldly glow, stood as a testament to the possibility of redemption, even for those who had lost their way in the darkest recesses of their own existence.